to Central. All right. I have Winnipeg leading the division with 86 points, and that is very high, but Winnipeg can soar very high if they so choose. Winnipeg has a pretty easy schedule, except for some key matchup against Central teams, but I think they'll be able to edge them out, especially with a lot of home field advantage, if I remember correctly when going over this. 86 points is a lot, and I think that Winnipeg has the potential to truly win. And Winnipeg has a really good roster. They'll be getting back Mark Scheifele. I just don't see any holes on this team. They'll probably, I would be very surprised if they don't trade for maybe an extra defenseman, extra forward. Definitely not goaltending. Maybe even trading away goaltending. Maybe like Eric Comrie or Steve Mason. Someone to a team that could use it. But overall, Winnipeg is Winnipeg, and I think they'll have 86 points.
Looking at the Central Division right now, I'm gonna have to agree with you on Winnipeg. Obviously, great team. So yeah.
Next we have Nashville, and yes, this is pretty much the same order of the Central now, except for a few key changes, which we'll get into. But Nashville, to me, is the epitome of a great team. Nashville will probably be leading the Central for most of February. It's just they have the Winnipeg Jets coming on top later because of some certain upsets I see happening. Nashville has a really good team ever since Kyle Turris has been there. He's been a big difference changer. They have a really great decor. Mike Fisher coming back is also a pretty big deal for them emotionally, morale, and there's really nothing too wrong with this team. If I see them trading anything or anyone, maybe UC Saros, just because a team might, if they get a high enough price, maybe trading for they're definitely not going to be sellers. That's my point. My point is they'll definitely be trading for a better player.
I agree they will be trading for a better player, and they are going to finish second in the Central.
We're not talking about you mean February?
Yeah.
St. Louis, at the end of February, I'm going to have them have 80 points, and the reason for that is St. Louis is a very good team, but I'm going to have them go on a little bit of a skid for a little bit of it, and I think that's because St. Louis hasn't really figured out its goaltending situation. Carter Hutton, Jake Allen. They just can't figure it out, and I think that's going to cause a little bit of dilemma within the team, especially around the trade deadline, to see if they do anything. We all heard rumors of the Carey Price for Jake Allen trade or Carter Hutton, so I think that'll stir things around. But I think at the end of the day, of February, they'll come out of the trade deadline, in February being a better team than they were before.
I don't think that they're gonna execute the Carey Price trade.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give an example of.
So what I do think they should do is, I think they should trade Carter Hutton for either a draft pick or or maybe or Carter Hutton, maybe like a third rounder for another team's not really a prospect, but like a
developing person.
Like a developing.
Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah,
because Carter Hutton's also old. He's like 33, so.
And for a goaltender, it's not very old, but I mean, it's like in his prime, pretty much. Yeah. 30 to 35 for goaltenders, pretty much prime sometimes. Next, I have the biggest increase, and I think a team that's really going to own February is Minnesota. Minnesota has a really great team all around. They were struggling early in the season. I couldn't really put my finger on why. And it really always upsets me when Minnesota's struggling. They really have a great team that can really succeed. I think in February they're really gonna really show everyone what they can do with a chance to beat down a lot of Central teams that are trying to challenge them. So that's going to be very important for Minnesota. And I have Minnesota grabbing a fourth place in the Central with a first wild card with 78 points. So not too far out of third by the end of February. And I think a trade will be made, maybe similar to the Martin Hansel one they did last year, to try and bolster their team for the playoffs.
Agreed.
Okay. Last wild card, In the West, I have Colorado. I have Colorado having 77 points, and although this may seem kind of a surprise, last month they were on a tear, and I think early in this month they're going to have a little bit of regression from that. There's no way you can go from doing that bad to that good without a little bit of falling to earth, and I think the Colorado Avalanche are going to do that. However, I think that they're going to make some sort of trade at the deadline. Nothing big, maybe just an extra forward or something to help them get into the playoffs or do something in the playoffs, because they've traded mainly a lot of their team for picks and prospects and as such. And I don't think it's going to be anything too big. Maybe just like a fourth line guy, maybe a veteran of some sort. They're definitely not going to make any big moves, but I think Colorado will have at the end of February a fifth spot. I keep saying that, fifth spot in the Central Division with 77 points in a wild card spot.
I'm actually gonna have to disagree with this on that.
Alright.
I actually think Colorado will end up sixth place in the division. I think they're gonna have a little bit of a downfall.
An Avalanche. I'm sorry. I should leave after that one. I'm sorry. Fifth place. Okay. You mean sixth place? Sixth place. There you go.
I feel really stupid.
Next we have Dallas. 71 points. Dallas was a really hard choice for me. My initial predictions of the season, I had Dallas going first in the Central. I don't think that anymore. They're too unstable. They have really good forwards, but February is a tough month for them. They have to play in the Central. Any other division, they'd be an amazing team, but Central's really hard to play in. There's so many things right with this team, but they never seem to fully go right for an extended period of time. I have them at 71 points, but you have to remember they're only 6 points out of a playoff spot at the end of February. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe knock Colorado out, or Minnesota maybe even, during March. However, Colorado, 71 points, just because of not only a schedule, but I could see them potentially...
Did you just say Colorado has 71 points?
I'm sorry. Dallas has 71 points. Yeah. That's that.
Alright, I say Dallas is gonna be in Colorado's spot for what you said. So, that's it. I just think they're gonna maybe go on maybe like a 5-game win streak run, and they're gonna either be in 4th or 5th place, but probably 5th.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a very hard division.
Mm-hmm.
So
at least for you, but
yeah. Chicago.
Nothing really to say.
Yeah, nothing really to say except a couple things. 69 points. They're still in this.
Mm-hmm.
I had them still in this. They have some key matchups that if they win, which I do have them doing. I mean, if you have Patrick Kane on your team, you're going to win a few matchups. I really think that Panarin trade, all the trades over the offseason was a really bad idea.
I agree with him. So.
If you have to choose losing in the first round or not making the playoffs, I choose losing in the first round. Mm-hmm. And maybe do something at the trade deadline. Chicago will probably be a seller just because of how competitive their division is.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, 69 or 70 points, you could easily see them as buying some players. However, I really don't think they will, especially with their recent outcome of trades during the offseason.
Mm. Yeah, those trades during the offseason, I really feel that that really just screwed up their chemistry, the whole team. And they haven't really been able to get it done. And
also, the Crawford injury is a big part of that.
That's
because even if the goalie there, Jeff Glass, is playing up to standards, nothing will lead to Crawford. In the Pacific, first place, shouldn't be a surprise, the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm still honestly amazed at how good this expansion team has done. 91 points for me at the end of February. I think that they are going to be possible cup contender. I mean, everyone thinks so. I'm not just trying to state the obvious here, but I mean, sometimes you have to wake up and realize that Vegas is a legitimate cup contender. With me saying 91 points at the end of February, there's going to be some losses here, as you may already be able to tell, because they won't be have the same ratio of wins to losses in February. I think they're going to pick up some losses here. I think they're going to fall a little bit down to earth, kind of like, I think Vegas is going to have a realization, and that realization is going to help them though, because it's going to allow them during the trade deadline to realize that they're going to need a little more of a push. So I think they're going to make a big trade during the trade deadline and try to get a really big time forward or defenseman or anywhere I think Jared Gallant could work into. A great piece that doesn't mess up the chemistry, yet really gives his team and maybe another leader or another follower, perhaps.
I'm going to have to disagree on you with the trade. But this has been the biggest surprise of the NHL this season. The Vegas Golden Knights. Gotta give them props.
Oh, yeah. And also, do you agree with my 91 points, or do you think they're going to get more than that?
I think they're going to get 93.
What? Yes, it is possible.
So maybe 44 wins. So 43.
Yeah. Next, I have a team that is two teams, actually, after this one, that are surging because every month you get these teams, like I already said, Minnesota, that have a resurgence, that get a lot better, that like Colorado did last month, Nashville did a couple months, and they just soar. For me, that's LA right now. LA has a team that can win. We saw it early in the year. Mm-hmm. They're on a little bit of a decline as of now. Still in a playoff spot, but I had them winning a ton of games, a ton of very important games, and in the division, and excelling all the way to 79 points, which may seem not too much to our Central Division, but in the Pacific Division, that is a lot of points. And the LA Kings have a really good team. As long as Jonathan Quick's there, they'll be fine. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
As of now, the Kings are in 11th in the league. As you saw earlier in the year, they were 3rd in the league. So, last I checked, it was like a week ago, the Kings were 17th in the league. I think they're going to start doing very good again. And I think they're going to rise. I think they're going to rise over 79 points, and I think they're going to get 83.
Wow. I could see that. It's definitely probable, but I have a lot of games going either way, especially because Kings maybe start to not do so good and then finally come back, or the other way around. Anaheim is my 3rd place team, which may come as a surprise. However, Anaheim, to me, is going to be that team that realizes who they are in February. Anaheim is going to probably make another trade, and I think it's going to be just as good as the Adam Henrique, Sami Vanatin trade. Anaheim has a top 5 defensive core. It's very hard to look around a hole in their defense, and they have people under them, above them, in the middle, everywhere, who they can trade to try and bolster that forward core that maybe needs a little help, but still probably a top 10 forward core. 77 points, very close to the Kings, 3rd place, John Gibson. I know I'm just listing things off here, but they have a good team, and recently they've started to pick up the pace and get more wins as injured players start to come back. And if the Anaheim Ducks do not run into any more injury problems like they have for the rest of the season, I would be very surprised not to see Anaheim in the realm of 77 points at the end of February.
I definitely agree. Anaheim has actually, if you look at all the NHL rosters, I think that Anaheim's, it doesn't stand out to be the best, but it at least stands out to be maybe like a top 8 roster.
Definitely. There's a reason why they've been the Pacific Division champions for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. So, I agree with you. Maybe even a little over. Maybe 79. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
Next, we have San Jose. We have 75 points. And, yes, I know, they are in 2nd place right now. And it may seem a little weird that they have such a bad February. The reason is because San Jose is very, very slow in certain areas of the ice. They have a very old team, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Trust me, there's a reason why they have 75 points at the end of February, my prediction. I think that this is going to catch up to them in the older months of February when their players have been playing for an extended long amount of time.
Yeah,
and
because they also
start to
have
break
a
down.
very old team.
And you have to remember, Joe Thornton is injured, and that is a very big deal for them up the middle.
What was it, a ACL?
I don't exactly remember. All I know is that he's injured for a little bit, and that will definitely take a toll on them.
I think it was an MCL.
Do I think the San Jose Sharks are going to be a seller? No. March, they will probably do very good. Maybe even kick Anaheim out, or maybe get a wild card position. They're only, looking at this now, 2 points out of a wild card position in my predictions at the end of February. So I think San Jose will just stick to what they're doing and hope for the best. San Jose has a really hard schedule during the month of February, so that's why I see a little bit of regression as well. However, I think that they will play some very good hockey. It's just going to be Anaheim that's the problem for them.
I say San Jose maybe drops one to 5th place. I say you know what, we'll just wait till the next one for me to mention it.
Sure. Next team is
Calgary.
Yeah, okay. Calgary. Ryan says Calgary. Go on.
I actually say Calgary it's not going to go on that big win streak again, but I say it's going to be a very consistent team. Johnny Hockey has been doing very good lately, so I don't say they're going to be in a wild card spot because obviously we have the very competitive Central Division, probably the best division in the NHL besides the Metro, so maybe even better.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's my take.
I have Calgary, 73 points, 5th in the division. Calgary, I have playing just as good hockey as in it's fine. Just as good hockey in last month, January. However, I think that it's not going to be good enough to get them into 3rd place or a position of playoffs. Calgary has a very good team. It's just that they're going to be playing some very competitive moments, and I have a feeling that those opponents will be able to get the edge over them. I think Calgary will be forced to make a trade over the trade deadline, even though they have traded away a lot of their picks, including their first to the Islanders. I think they're going to be forced to trade a 3rd if they still have one, or possibly a prospect in order to achieve a playoff spot.
As I said, I'm not really agreeing with you on this because obviously Calgary, I think, is going to be in 4th place, and San Jose is going to replace them. So 5th.
Alright, so next we have Vancouver. I have them doing a little bit better, but not much better. As you can see, there's a very big drop-off. 73 points to 62. Vancouver is in the basement of the Pacific, and they do belong there. Brock Besser is great. I love the Sedin twins. Go Horvat. It's just that they don't have enough pieces to become a successful and winning team yet. I really love what the direction the Canucks are headed in, especially with all their prospects coming up. This year isn't the year. It wasn't supposed to be the year. The next 3 years will probably be very good for the Canucks in building back up a very competitive team. They will definitely probably be sellers, and we may even see the Sedin brothers go somewhere. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just thinking about this now. A very interesting trade would be the Sedin brothers to Anaheim.
I talked about Vancouver actually in another video. You can go watch that. It was the ranking of the top 5 worst NHL teams.
It was how we would fix them.
And it's how we would fix them. It's not relevant to now since obviously it's a little later in the year. But you can see my take on that. And like I said in the other video, they need a better defensive core and maybe some better goaltending.
Definitely. Next, I have Edmonton, and Edmonton. I thought you could do it. Last year, I knew you could. I had you making the playoffs this year. I said you could as well, and you failed me.
That was a disappointment to me.
Yes.
Edmonton this year.
Edmonton was supposed to be very exciting hockey, especially in a Pacific division. Edmonton, I have 61 points. Basement of the Pacific, doing a lot better than last month. And the month before, Cam Talbot wants to win still. The players want to win still. They can. They are.
They just can't execute it though.
Will Edmonton? Here's the question though. Will Edmonton be sellers at the deadline? No, they will not. This is an off year. Their GM, in my opinion, has made some very bad decisions as far as trading goes. I think Edmonton next year gets off their feet, signs a few free agents for depth, because that's really the problem.
Depth.
If you're looking at the top line, you have Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Darnell Nurse on your defenseman, and then also I forgot the defensive pairing there, maybe Clefbaum. However, the point is not good enough. And as far as under that is good enough. Under it is not. Cam Talbot, I've never really been confident that he's been this great goaltender like they said last year. But he's serviceable. So Edmonton could very well be in the position of Anaheim in my prediction, but tough schedule, not enough depth, and they will probably not be sellers, not buyers, but they will just wait the season out and hope for the best.
Like you said, Edmonton, they do need better goaltending. Cam Talbot has been a backup on the Rangers. He's basically been a backup his whole career until that one season in Edmonton when they got him. And then they had a great year, and suddenly he fell back to his backup position, kind of, and how he played when he was backup. So that's my take. And I do agree with you that they'll have like 61 points and be in that position.
Next we have Arizona, and this shouldn't become a surprise.
Nothing really to say about it.
Yeah, 42 points. I think Arizona's going to play some actually decent hockey. I think they're going to get some upset wins, including against some very good teams. I think that they're going to go on a 2-game or 3-game winning streak and scare some people. I don't mean scare some people, I just mean people may not want to play them during that time. But then they'll fall back down to the harsh reality that is 16, 36, and 10. Nothing more to say about Arizona. They will definitely be... I'm not sure if they should be sellers, but I know that they should, because they want to still be competitive. I think that they're just going to, again, wait this season out and hope for the best. I'd be very surprised if they trade anyone too big. Hopefully Ekman Larson. Not for the Coyotes' sake, but for his sake. Overall, though, nothing more to say here.
Nothing really to say. Also, in this video, sorry for my voice is kind of...
Oh yeah, it's all good.
It's kind of a little off right now.
Yeah, it's okay. We all get sick from time to time.
Yeah, allergy season, so...
Yeah.
Nothing really to say about the Coyotes. So.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Eastern Conference and Western Conference parts of this video. If you like this video, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and in the comments, leave a suggestion for a video we should do, as well as your predictions at the end of February if there's enough time by the time this video goes up, because it'll probably go up either January 31st or February 1st. So anyways, guys, I'm Matt from Geekinsis signing out. See you guys. Bye.